Hello guys, welcome to the HVAC Diaries. My name is Jessica. I am an HVAC apprentice here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and I work for my family's business Cool Refrigeration, where my dad and my brother are teaching me how to be a commercial and light industrial refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic, technician, contractor. That's a whole mouthful, but I'm excited to be here. Today is Saturday, July 16th, and this is my weekly HVAC vlog. How was your week, guys? Did you have a good one? Did you learn something? Did you make progress on something? I hope you had a good one. I have a lot to talk about today, so let's get into it. First of all, the Penthouse project, our part of the Penthouse project is over. It's done, and we are so thrilled because this project has taken so much more effort and time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears, all of that. We are physically and emotionally over it. But yeah, so we're done. It's awesome. We are just waiting for the electrical to be installed. Then we will be back next week to commission the system and make sure everything runs perfectly. We did pass our pressure test last week, so we are excited and happy about that. We had a couple more condensate line problems this week. One of them was to do with a saggy drain line. Whoever installed it used these little sticky things that they stuck to the wall to hold the pipe in place, and they just literally got unstuck and the pipe is sagging. So all of the water collecting right there and not actually draining out. So we just re-secured all of the lines and it seems to be holding. This was in a little kids play place. So before we started our job, my brother and I had to collect all the toys in the area that we were working in. So we're picking up all these Barbie dolls and stuff. It was fun. And then the second one was unfortunately a faulty pump. So we installed this LG ductless split about 4 or 5 months ago in this sort of like, it's like an art office kind of thing. They I don't know, I don't totally understand it, but they manage, I guess, all of the art and sculptures and stuff around Vancouver. So if you are familiar with Vancouver, one of the installations was, I guess, you know, on like Expo Boulevard, there's that tree trunk with the cars that are stacked on top. Or like on the way to Granville Island, there's those random super large beans. Very cool. But anyway, so we installed this air conditioner there a few months ago, and the condensate pump has been leaking. Like, it's been terrible. So we replaced the pump with a more robust pump, and that should take care of all of their problems. My dad and I did an emergency call to a packaging company that we work for. They've got this massive printing machine that has chillers that keep the ink cool. And it was kind of strange because the system seemed to be working okay. There were no alarms. The compressor was running okay. The water in the tank was the right temperature, was 11 degrees Celsius. But the man running the machine is like, this thing is running hot, and he needs it to be less than 20 degrees Celsius before his ink starts like gliding, moving. It doesn't set when he prints. So he's like, it's really important for me to be below 20 degrees. So my dad did some like serious investigations. He is so smart. Like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna have his knowledge and expertise, but anyway, he traced the problem down to this proportional three-way valve that's got this little motor inside that I guess stopped working. So when the system calls for more or less cool water, the motor in this little thing doesn't do anything. So he jimmy rigged it a little bit to get them going because they still had 30,000 prints to make that day. And if I'm not mistaken, if that machine is down, it cost them, I'm totally gonna make up numbers, but it's a lot of money per hour that it doesn't work. So it's really important for us to have them running all the time. When they call, we run. We also looked at this little display cooler at a tiny little coffee shop that's nearby. It's so tiny. It's like 3 steps in either direction. What is that, like 10 by 10? I don't know. It's tiny. Anyway, she bought this new display cooler for her pastries and stuff like that. New to her, it's a second hand. She went away for a long weekend, and when she came back, she found the cooler totally frozen up and not cooling anymore because the evaporator was so frosted over. She's like, oh my gosh, she's like, did I buy another bad unit? Because the story is that when she purchased it, she brought it back to her shop. It didn't fit through the door. So she had to hire a glazier to remove the front window so she could get the cooler inside her shop. Anyway, she's like, I just want this thing to work. So when we checked it out, we're like, are the doors usually open that much? Like, they're supposed to be closed all the time. In fact, they've got these like closers on the top. They're like elasticy, springy things that always want to force the doors closed. So we took a look and we're like, the door closers are just missing. They're not here. So I contacted the manufacturer, and the manufacturer's like, oh, list price for these little door closer things is like $80. So we went to her, we're like, we think this is kind of excessive. My dad's like, I think I can jimmy rig something. I can MacGyver something. So I literally went to Michael's and I bought some waistband elastic for $3.50. And we secured some terminal connections to them. And it works. It works. It does the job perfectly. So now when you open the door, it just wants to slam closed all the time. So that's going to solve her problem for a lot less money. And you know what she did, guys? Oh my gosh. While we were there, she was talking to me about TikTok and social media and how she's starting to use it for her business and shouting out other local businesses and stuff. And she totally did the most amazing testimonial on TikTok for me. I'm like, girl, you speak my language. If you guys want to make me happy, shout me out on social media. It makes my day. Yes. I did have one solo day this week. It was supposed to be a full day of HVAC maintenance with a little ice machine cleaning sprinkled in. But I actually only got through half of my day because it took me so long, and I'll tell you why. And by the time I was done, I had to drive across town to get to the other two services that I had to do. And by the time I'd finished one of them, the second one would have been closed. So instead of driving all the way over town to do that, just the one, I ended up going home and doing all my bookkeeping so that I don't have to do it today and I get a nice little weekend. Anyway, so I took a lot of footage because I was by myself. I cleaned a little ice machine in a liquor store, which I do every 6 months. and I also did the HVAC maintenance at that liquor store. And in order to do that, I've got to use my extension ladder, which I haven't used in quite some time. In fact, this is the only location that I use the extension ladder at, and I'm there every 3 months. So 3 months ago, I used my extension ladder. And you guys, I said this last time, but every time I use that extension ladder on my own, it gets just a little bit easier, a little less awkward. So there you go. And so the second HVAC maintenance that I did, they've got a mechanical room and the door would not open for me. The key turns and you can feel and hear the deadbolt inside moving, but the handle just doesn't move. It doesn't. So literally like 15-20 minutes, I'm getting really angry at this door. There's a couple of men who are working in that sort of complex. So I go over there kind of sheepishly and I'm like, do you guys know if there's a trick to opening this door? So the one man comes over and he gives me a hand and he's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'm going to break this key in this lock. I don't want to be responsible for that. So I almost gave up. I almost was like, all right, well, I can't do this job today, which frickin' sucks. So I give it one last heave, and I don't know if I like shoved my shoulder into it and pulled it down or up and wheeled it just the right way. I don't know, but I got it open. And I was like, whoa, you guys, I got it! And the whole complex, it was just one man. It was like, whoa, I got it! Very excited about that. So then I had to rope up all of my stuff. I roped up my tool bag and my filters. And then I had to walk a very long way. I pick up the key from the office, hop in my truck, drive to the mechanical room, go up the stairs, rope all of my stuff up, and then I have to walk all the way back to where the units are on the other side of the building. It's such a workout. And when it's sunny, it wasn't even that hot of a day. I think it was like 22 degrees Celsius. Dying up there. And they've got this pebbly roof. It's like walking on a beach. Ugh. You gotta carry my filters and my tool bag. So complainy, right? It was a good job, and I enjoy working on my own, so it's not really complaining. I would say the biggest, most exciting job of the week was cleaning an evaporator coil at a butchery, a meat supplier. Yeah, so the complaint was that the fan is leaking. The fan is leaking, the evaporator is leaking. There's water dripping from the fans. We investigated, and the nastiest evaporator coil I've ever seen in my life. So we couldn't clean it that day because they were cutting meat and everything, so we arranged to do it at the end of the day. And we spent 4 hours, we dismantled the thing, and we cleaned it with a steam power washer and chemicals, and now it's, I wouldn't say it's sparkling, but it's 1,000 times, no, it's 1,000,000 times better than what it was. once we were done, I was kind of joking with my dad outside. I was like, hey dad, did you see the sign out front? They have free barbecue on Saturdays. He's like, what do you mean? I would buy meat from here. And I was like, are you kidding me? After what we just saw and cleaned, like, you would still buy meat from here? And he says, you know, the workers there aren't responsible for that refrigeration equipment. In fact, all of the dirt was inside the evaporator. They're not allowed to go in there. In fact, they can't because they could injure themselves. So he's like, and all the dirt was inside the evaporator. He's like, at the end of every day, they steam power wash with like hot water. They steam power wash that entire cutting room. Floors, walls, counters, everything gets cleaned at the end of every day. And he says not every place does that. So this place is clean. And I don't know, I still don't trust it. I personally wouldn't buy meat from there, but I think he's got a point. I don't know. So one of the hazards of this job, you guys, is seeing things that you just cannot unsee. That's just part of it. I was totally surprised this week with such an honor. Earlier this year, I was interviewed for the HVACR Business magazine, and I didn't know this, but they put me on the cover of the magazine. And the online article is, it's so nicely written, and I'm just so honored to be involved with these kinds of interviews and articles and sharing my story and promoting the women in HVACR Canada. Oh yeah, there we go, that's why I'm wearing that. So yeah, promoting them and just encouraging more women and girls and people in general to get into the skilled trades, specifically refrigeration and air conditioning, HVACR. I'm a little biased, but what an honor. I'm just so grateful for these opportunities and for being able to do this. And even though this is an HVAC vlog, it's my HVAC vlog. So last Saturday, a week ago, I added 2 new tattoos to my arm sleeve. It is coming along nicely. I got this skull wearing a crown, a pink crown, I should say. And then I got this little simple vanilla ice cream cone. Isn't that cute? So I got a few more spots to fill in, and then I'll be done. And before I go, I got this new toy this week. I'm so excited about it. It's from Field Piece, and it's their Job Link probe system. It comes with 2 temperature clamps. Da-da-da-da. So awesome. And 2 pressure probes. Da-da-da-da. They're so small, they're gonna just fit in my pocket. And everything connects via Bluetooth to your smartphone. It brings up all the data. And I am so excited to try these out. Oh, that was a lot, you guys. Sorry for talking your ears off, but thank you for coming to watch this episode of the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. I had such a great week, especially after last week where it wasn't that great. And you know where they say that you've got to get through the darkness to get to the light? That definitely happened last week and this week. So things are much better. We're on a better path and a direction, and it's awesome. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and an even better week next week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.